And welcome back to the Paper Soprano podcast. Sorry, I just ate a bunch of really spicy food, and I constantly do this to myself. Whew. And I think I just need to document it so I understand the consequences of my actions. It's always so bad when you start talking. I always never understand those YouTube shows or whatever, like Good Mythical Morning or anything really, where they do those hot pepper challenges, or they talk. They try and talk afterwards. I would shut down. I mean, I would like it because I feel like I've always wanted to try that. But oh my god, talking makes it so much worse. Yeah. I actually had a recent I guess you could call it a fascination with pad thai, and not specifically the food itself, but it was a part of it. My goal with getting pad thai was trying to order it as literally as spicy as I could possibly get it from this one restaurant. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast, but I would literally lay out in the middle of the road and try and convince these people that it was what I wanted. I was like, listen, I want you to kill me with this spice level. I want you to annihilate me with the spice level. I don't care that you have a 5-level scale and you're like, yeah, 1 to 5. I want a 12. I want to know what that's like. Okay? And I think one time specifically, they actually really did give it to me. And it was a religious experience, I must say. It was just so spicy, and that's just something that sometimes you can't control it. Peppers are unpredictable, especially when you have chili oil. It's really unpredictable. You can get not unregulated stuff, but sometimes chilies are spicier than other chilies. It's just sometimes you get an orange that's more sour than another orange, or an apple that's less sweet or something. You know what I mean? So I think it was a combination of me literally telling them it's okay, lay it on there, douse it in chili oil, dude. And also they had some spicy chilies that day because it didn't look like it was any really more doused in chili oil than it normally was, but it was the spiciest thing I've ever eaten in my life. I was pacing around my apartment, not sure what to do. I was sipping really cold water because I didn't have ice trays at the time. I didn't have any ice trays, so I didn't have any ice made, so I couldn't even have an ice cube in my mouth or something. Not that would help, but it was horrible. But it was also amazing. So anyway, that's my pad thai life. Although I haven't had pad thai in a really long time. Probably 2 months or something. I don't know. It's been a really long time. But I need to tell you about my morning. I just have to. I posted a Instagram story. So if you saw my Instagram story this morning, you would know that I had quite the morning today. So yesterday we had a storm again, and we got a good amount of snow. I actually didn't go out with my car. I didn't leave my apartment Saturday or Sunday. I was supposed to go out on Sunday, but my event got canceled because of the snow. And yeah, so I had a little bit of build-up on the car, so I planned for a little extra time in the morning. And I go out there, right? I'm walking outside and I got my boots on. I didn't make the wrong decision with footwear. I made sure to bring my gloves. I was prepped, I was out there early. I was scraping off the car. I made sure to like shovel underneath the tires a little bit so that I could get out of my little parking spot because of course the plows, when you park in the street, they just kind of box you in with snow. And yeah, so I get out there, right? And I'm scraping off the car, and I have an automatic start on my car, so I started it from inside the house, so it was already warming up and stuff. It was great. It was planning out to be like the chef's kiss, most perfect little getaway that I've ever done. But then I get in the car and I go to turn on the wipers because I'm like, okay, cool, we're getting somewhere. Time to do a little wipey wipe. This is really fluffy, powdery snow, so it'll be easy. But my wipers were like frozen solid, and I was like, dang it. So I had to get back out of my car, but I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just put the keys in because the automatic start has been on for a while, so I'll put the keys in the car. Put the keys in the ignition, step out of my car, close the door, and I completely forget that there's this like messed up, honestly they should disable this messed up feature on my car that like auto locks the door. When the keys are in the ignition, it auto locks the door after like 20 seconds. Because obviously, if your keys are in the ignition, you're likely in the car, so it's usually like a safety feature or whatever, so that when you're driving, I don't know, someone doesn't try and open the door. I really don't understand because, of course, that means that I locked myself out of my car because of that stupid feature. And I'm like, come on. And I'm like, okay, well, you better just keep scraping these wipers. And I knew I had a spare key in my apartment. I have a spare car key, so it's all good. And then I go back to my apartment door and I'm like, wait a second, I don't have my apartment keys. They're locked in the car. So I locked myself out of my car and my apartment, all at like 7 a.m. And I feel terrible, but I go and I knock on my landlord's door at like 7 a.m. And I'm like, hi, I'm so sorry. I locked my keys in my car and then also have my apartment keys. Could you give me a spare key to the apartment? So we do that. I get into the apartment, get the spare car key, and I'm going to return the spare apartment key. And what happens to me when I turn the corner down the driveway? I just eat it on the ground. Like I just eat shit on the ground. I fell right on my butt. And honestly, I kind of like fell in a weird way on my my leg. Like my ankle kind of went wonky and then my knee kind of went weird. Like it literally was the weirdest way I could have fallen. And I was sitting there on the ground and I was just kind of looking around. I gave myself like a good 5 seconds to be like, is this a joke? Like, am I dreaming? Like it couldn't get any worse. And honestly, it was pretty much fine after that. Like, I just kind of got up and was like, okay, well, here I am. And I was wearing boots, y'all. Like, it wasn't like I was wearing my heels or anything crazy, trying to, be a hero in the snow. Like, I was wearing my Uggo nasty boots. And I still slipped and fell. It was slick out there. And, at 7 in the morning, everything's like an icicle. So yeah, that was my morning. Oh, good Lord. It was just a hot mess. And yeah, the rest of my day was okay. Had to have a couple tough conversations with some people. Had to have some difficult job interactions today. But that's corporate America, so I hope it all works out. I can't really get into it because it doesn't really involve me exactly. It's involving one of my coworkers, so I'm not gonna like disclose any information. Also, gotta take a sip. My mouth's getting hot. Yeah, and then I taught some lessons and had a staff meeting. I ran a meeting and that was it. Took a shower, killed it. I made some roasted broccoli and cauliflower and some potatoes, but I wasn't really that hungry. I hate doing that where I like I make food and I'm like killing it in the kitchen, absolutely annihilating it. And then I'm like, ugh, but I'm not really even that hungry. I don't really want this. But like I just, for some reason, past me was like, I should probably make this amount of food. Like this amount of food is correct. And then I end up like saving so much of it, and I always have leftovers, like constantly having leftovers. Like I cannot cook for one. It is so hard. I don't know, I just make I'm used to cooking for like families, you know what I mean? It's easier to do that. Also, I'm drinking chocolate oat milk tonight. So, getting crazy. And we're living our best lives. I decided to pick this beverage because of the spice level that was happening in my mouth. Also, that spice came from this really weird Hawaiian sauce that I got at this new grocery store that came into town. I don't know if you've ever heard of this grocery store, but it's like, I guess, an Aldi competitor, and it's called Lidl. Lidl. You heard that right. The literal store is called Lidl. It kills me. I'm like, who would name a store that? Also, that just reminded me, this is totally random, but I am not kidding. There is this semi-truck, this like courier truck, or like, I don't know what to call it, like some company, I think it might be a paper company. I'm gonna look it up right now because I must know. And I know exactly what the name of the company is, and I just cannot believe that this is an actual company. And they were like, yeah, let's name our company this. Hold on, let me... Oh my... I cannot get over it. I don't know why it's so stupid. But okay, I looked it up, and I know exactly what it is, but... So it's a Northeast transportation and logistics provider, often offering solutions, truckloads, blah, 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 warehousing and stuff. And the name of the company is A Dewy Pile. Literally, like it's spelled all weird. Like it's A.DUIE space PYLE. A Dewy Pile. A Dewy Pile. That's what kind of company name is that? If this is somebody's name or something, please tell me, because I need to know. I need to know. This is ridiculous. I see a truck that says a Dewy Pile on it, and I laugh. I'm a simple person. Like, what is that? Ooh, yeah, dude. A Dewy Pile. Oh my god. If you ever see one of those trucks, I want you to think of me, and think of me fondly, because because that is so funny to me. Oh my god, I just can't believe that there's a company named a Dewy Pile out there. People really do be naming their companies anything these days. Alright, anyway, let's do our minute sketch here, people. Let's take our music history vitamins. Alright, so yesterday we learned a little bit about Clara and Robert Schumann. And Today, ooh, girl, we are reading about Franz Liszt, the fearless champion of the new. All right, so we're getting a little contemporary. Not really. We're getting a little romantic. I think he was, obviously. I think. Duh. Yes, romanticism. Okay. So, Franz Liszt, the fearless champion of the new, born 1811, died 1886. A long-haired, long-fingered gypsy pianist in his youth, a benign, white-haired abbey in later life, but in each aspect possessing all the charm of the other, such was Franz Liszt. He was born in Radeberg, Hungary, on October 22nd, 1811, and evinced such talent at an early age that several nobles undertook to finance his musical education. He worked with the best teachers, Czerny and Salieri, besides his devoted father, and appeared before an enthusiastic public in Vienna at the age of 11, when Beethoven set the seal of approval on his performance. In France, he was hailed as Liszt la neuvième merveille du monde, and it was in France where he heard the wizard violinist Paganini was fired with such desire to emulate at the piano his diabolical technique, brilliance, and succeeded. In France also he met Chopin and Berlioz and Madame la Comtesse d'Agoult, his intimate friend and mother of his 3 children. Ooh, girl. From 1833 to 1848, he enjoyed a series of phenomenal artistic successes in all parts of the world. His personal charm plus his genius carried all before them. His wealth which flowed in, he dispensed with gypsy generosity, not only in the name of charity, but also in graceful a gesture as playing for the competition of the Beethoven statue at Bonn, when work was discontinued due to lack of funds. When he retired from the concert stage in 1848, he devoted himself to teaching, conducting, writing, and composing. He had some 300 private pupils, among them the most illustrious pianists of the present day. He conducted the opera at Weimar, seizing every opportunity to offer new works. His motto was, "First place to the living," and in pursuance thereof he produced Wagner's Lohengrin, Flying Dutchman, and Tannhäuser, Berlioz's Benvenuto Cellini, Weber's Euryanthe, Schumann's Manfred, and many others. Rome and Catholicism claimed him in 1861. He donned the abbey's long black robe, and his music also took on a priestly sentiment. Instead of fiery Hungarian rhapsodies or orchestral transcriptions for the piano, a requiem or an oratorio flowed from his peaceful pen. But he continued to teach and conduct in Weimar and Budapest while living in Rome as the Pope's Palestrina. He died, appropriately enough, at the Wagner Festival in Bayreuth on July 13th, 1886. Oh my god, wait, he died at a festival? Yeah, while visiting his daughter Cosima. Dazzling virtuoso, conductor and composer, teacher, apostle of new music, champion of romanticism, writer and editor, friend of rich and poor, he had many claims to fame. Dang! Okay, first of all, that sucks to die at a festival. I wonder if that festival is still going on today and if they know that Liszt died while it was going on, while he was there. Also, love the whole thing about, like donating, like how he was a philanthropist. I'm learning so much about the financial lives of these composers. And TBH, that interests me, okay? Like, I don't know about you, but I feel very interested in the whole idea that there was really, like, normal stuff going on in these people's lives, and they were in class systems, and they were, they had opportunities, and they didn't, and then they didn't have a lot of money, and then they did, and, like, it just makes their lives so much more real and interesting to me. I don't know. All right. I'm going to finish this chocolate oat milk, and I'm going to head to bed because I've got to be at work at 6:30 a.m., baby. So that's going to be great. I can't wait. I also have class until 7:45 p.m. tomorrow. So we're going to have a nice 13-hour day. Maybe I'll find a nap somewhere in there. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? Anyway, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you should know that I put out a podcast every single day. The Paper Soprano podcast is a daily podcast as of right now. And if you would like to subscribe, go ahead. You can become a little member of our little fam that we got going on here. We've got some dedicated listeners who tune in daily and listen to the ramblings of a delirious soprano at various times of the day. Sometimes it's real early, sometimes it's real late, sometimes it's in the middle of the day. Who knows? You don't, and I don't either. Anyway, go ahead, subscribe if you wanna, and leave a comment if you wanna. Leave a like if you wanna. I'm the worst. I'm literally so bad. This is about the time of the podcast where I say, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whenever you happen to be listening to this. And I love ya, and I mean it. Okay? All right, I gotta go. Goodbye.